Who's that person that you wonder if they still think about you? What's your story with them? I could list a few former loves and a ton of friends I've drifted with, but the biggest one is probably the NICU nurse who was there for a whole day with my son before he passed. She was so kind to us, me, my husband and my son, when there was nothing left they could do for him, and we took him off of all the support he was on, and he passed. She gave us time alone, but when we were ready to go I saw she had been crying too. She hugged me and told me that I was a good mom. So far he is my only child, and she is one of a handful of people who has called me a mom. On the worst day of our lives she just was so kind. Not me but my wife. We were visiting LA and went to the Comedy Store because I always wanted to go, and the lineup looked killer that evening. During the show my wife got up to use the restroom. When she came back she told me some punk nerdy dude tried to cut her in line to use the bathroom, and she told him to get his ass to the end of the line. 5 minutes later the dude who tried to cut her came up to the stage and she pointed him out to me. It was John Mulaney, lol. I wonder if he remembers a small Mexican girl telling him no cup size. She was my best friend, my childhood friend. When she left to a country across the world, when we were both around 10, she gave me her email address. I emailed her at least 10 different times, but she never replied. 6 years later, this year, I heard she's on Instagram. I made an Instagram account for the sole purpose of contacting her. I followed her, and she accepted my request, and it's wonderful to see she's having an amazing time. She's popular, she's beautiful, she's surrounded by friends. I tried direct messaging her, and she never replied. I waited a few months and tried again, but still no reply. It's kind of stupid but it really hurt, so I deleted my Instagram account and now I try not to think about her. Edit. Thank you to everyone who replied sharing similar experiences and condolences. I'm sorry that you lost touch with your friends as well. Hope you feel okay. Also, because someone asked, I'm a girl. My ex-fiancée. She caught me doing drugs and quickly dumped me. I just wonder how she turned out, and think she'd like how I turned my life around. A guy from high school who was for all intents and purposes my best friend. Things happened in my 11th year, and I left that school and moved interstate, so we didn't talk as much. By the time I moved back closer we'd only talk maybe 4 times a year despite living close-ish. I later moved away again so pretty much all contact stopped. We've added each other on Steam but neither of us messages each other anymore. Even though I can talk to him right now I never do. We're strangers now, and every few months I think about him and if I should message him, and I wonder how much he's changed. I do wonder if he ever thinks about messaging me. My birth mom. Especially around my birthday. At a Target cashier I greeted someone with "Here's your receipt." I wonder if that customer thinks about it as much as I do. I tend to form strong attachments to people I care about, yet some of them seem to find it very easy to fade away whilst my strong attachment remains. I've always wondered how often I pop into the minds of these people. After closing the restaurant I work at, as I was about to leave I noticed an older conversion van in the front of the parking lot with 2 people who ended up being mother and son, mid-20s, arguing. So I walked up to them. He was mad and mom was threatening to call the cops and have him taken in because of his anger. What started this was the son flew in from Co to pick up the van to live in back in Co as a temp home due to the fire at the time near his actual home. But once he got there mom changed her mind. They didn't have the best relationship, and apparently this is how they argued/solved problems. Anyway I told him I was going to the bar for a drink by myself, and would go regardless, if he came with or not, and I'd lend an ear, if he wanted to chat/rant. He didn't and I hung out on the patio for a couple hours, ending up having a great time. He managed to get a hold of an old friend who came and picked him up to help him get back home. I can't remember the name of the park he lived near, but said there were massive, beautiful geodes, and once he got back on his feet again after the fires, he'd get a hold of me and send me one. I don't expect that to happen, but would be a cool AF gift with an interesting story attached. This was only a couple months ago, but I still wonder how everything worked out for him and hope he's doing good. He was down on his luck, but overall a cool genuine dude. I was newly single and had to go to Italy for a doctor's appointment. Long story, but I had to take one in Italy in order to be allowed on a ship. The doctor was absolutely gorgeous and couldn't speak English, and we had all these giggles while she showed me these stretches and positions I needed to be in for the exam. We went out later that night and she showed me a great time around town, and I never saw her again. I was a cashier at a grocery store when I was 16. One day these two little boys, one was about 9 and the other was about 4, came in and tried to buy a few cans of chili. They didn't have enough money for them, and they got really embarrassed and left. I tried to tell them I would just buy the chili for them, but they dashed out. I kept their cans at my till in case they came back, but they never did. They were so sweet and respectful and cute, and seemed excited about their purchase, and then got so upset when they didn't have enough. It broke my heart at 16, and still makes me sad now. I hope wherever they are they're okay and happy. When I was in Montessori, probably about 4 years old, I was absolutely in love with a little boy named David redacted. Apparently, we were quite the topic of the mom's circle. We had a show until one day, and I said, "This is for you, David," and belted out the chorus to "I Will Always Love You" by Whitney Houston. I'm not sure how far I got, but I remember really getting that and I remember just being so infatuated with him, but had no memories of much else regarding him. Going through old pictures with my mom, and we found a class picture from then, so of course it came up. As she remembers it, he had a little crush on me too. So I wonder if he ever thinks of that very exuberant little girl. My friends. Sometimes they just don't interact with me if I do it first. They are wonderful people, and it's partially my fault for isolating myself so much, but hey, it would be nice if you folks could send a text my way or something. Edit. Thank you so much for the kind replies. I didn't expect this to blow up like this, although it's sad that it happens to others. Does it mean I was in love with him if I keep hoping to see him posting about me on here? All the people I accidentally gave wrong directions to. **THIS is an open message. *** to all the people whose friends never hit them up unless they reach out to them. If any of you are in the Torrance/Long Beach/Cerritos/Southgate vicinity, it's a pretty large area, hit me up for a beer sometime. Doesn't have to be a beer, can be pool, a bite to eat, a concert, small or large venue, could be an escape room or a hookah lounge, or just a day hike. Send me a message. I always like meeting new people, while a lot of us are happy having our alone time and unwinding. Sometimes you just don't want to be at home alone on a free/sad night. Seriously, send me a message. Edit. This is in Southern California in the States, since some of you said I should mention the location. I live pretty close to the middle of the area I put. If you live a bit further away, someone mentioned Divine, I'm more than down to try something out there, or somewhere in between. When I was a teenager, let me speak to your manager. Looking woman almost turned me into a hood ornament. We exchanged harsh words for a solid 45 seconds, and then she drove off in anger. I was in line at the bathroom and asked some girl about the weather. She said that was S***T chat, so I told her to F***K off. I don't see you making any effort. I'll always remember you, random bar girl. Edit. That person is my BO dad. I'm 48. When I was a baby I am told he would get angry and tear up the house. No one talks much about this. My mom eventually left him and remarried when I was little. I kept a relationship with his parents, my grandparents. My stepdad eventually adopted me. Fast forward to a few years ago, I decided to seek out my BO dad and try and contact him. My grandparents have been dead since I was in high school, and I've yearned for a relationship with this person I've never really known, but have heard of from my grandparents. So I find him online in another state and call him. His girlfriend answers the phone and conversations goes like this. Hi, is Mike there? Sure, hold on. This is Mike. Hi, this is web design Betty, your daughter. He hangs up the phone. I call back because I'm shocked and can't believe that's how things have gone. Girlfriend answers again. Hi, this is web design Betty, I'm Mike's daughter. And she says, "Oh honey, he doesn't want to talk to you. I'm sorry, goodbye," and hangs up. And that's the story of not talking to my BO dad and wondering if they still think about me. You know that song Father of Mine? I can totally relate to that. My daddy gave me name, and then he walked away, and now that I have children I will never let them know what that feels like. Also, Mike is a ref **king asshole. My EXS family. We were together on and off for over 7 years, and during that time I became ridiculously close with his family. I stayed with them often, I went on trips with them, I hung out with them when my ex wasn't home. The last year we were together I was a bridesmaid in his sister's wedding. For multiple reasons the relationship ended badly. The worst part however, was that when I went home for Christmas that year, both of our families lived in a different city than where we lived. His sister had to meet up with me and essentially break up with me a second time. It's been 2 years since we split, and while I don't think about him often I think about his family a lot. They ended up moving closer to the city where I live. I wonder what they think of me, if they even still do. More than ever I wish I was able to get proper closure with them, but for reasons I don't want to risk contacting them again. They helped me through the roughest period of my life, and I still wish I could properly thank them for it. I'm almost 50 years old. My wife left me 4 years ago. My son lives an 8-hour drive away. I'm an old middle-aged lonely, but a man. I wonder if anyone ever thinks about me, ever. This isn't ethically positive, but I accidentally wrapped $50 into a present box for the gift exchange at church. I have no idea who got it, but I wonder if they are out there wondering who sent it. Oof. All these are very meaningful. I honestly just hope my EXS dog still thinks about me, like I think about it. My first love. We dated for 2 weeks, then just on and off hookups over the next 10 years. He would cheat on so many girlfriends with me unbeknownst to me. I tried pressuring him to actually date me, but there was always an excuse and always a next girlfriend. Put up with it cause I was so in love with him. Didn't see what a piece of ***t he was, and I had low self-esteem. Finally called it quits after a booty call and a breakdown when his pregnant girlfriend walked in on us. I didn't know about her. He's married now. I have a feeling it was totally one-sided, like I was so broken up about not being with him, but I wonder if he ever thinks about me. A guy from high school who I assume most people would classify as a quintessential loser. I met him my freshman year in high school. At first I couldn't really stand him, but soon realized it was more the kid he hung out with all the time that I really didn't like. They would always say some dark ***t and would also say borderline racist stuff. However, his friend left towards the end of our first year. The kid remained at the school virtually friendless from what I could remember. I must admit, we did not begin hanging out or anything, but I always kept talking to him in class, or briefly during lunch, or in the hallways, while it seemed everyone else shunned him. I quickly realized his friend was the actual ***t head, and that he was actually really chill. Every time we talked in class we always shared laughs. I had a pretty rough few years during high school involving family, personal issues and whatnot, so there were chunks of high school I literally just would go AWOL. However, every time I returned we would always hit it off like nothing. Fast forward to the weekend after graduation, I'm reading all the ***t that people wrote in my yearbook. What he wrote was one of only 3 things that I remember. He wrote, "The world needs more people like you. Don't change." At the moment I realized how much those little moments we shared really meant to him, and to me as well. I never saw or heard from him again. I thought she was the one. She had such soulful hazel eyes. We used to sit there smiling at each other, holding long, unspoken conversations through our locked gaze. Everything was going fantastic, and I was falling in love with her. About 4 months in, we both got into a funk, and one day just never texted the other one again. Both of us thought the other had broken up with them. A few years later I looked her up, and we had a chat. She was engaged to a guy, and that's when we both figured out that we both thought the other had dumped us. Got to love that random bit of disconnect that railroaded a relationship. We still talk for a minute every couple years when one of us randomly gets in touch and says hi. I don't know why we do this. Does it mean something? I don't know. Probably not. Most of these stories are about a lost love, but I wonder about the people I've had arguments with on the internet. Like, have they ever thought about me? Are they still wrong? Do they remember that sick burn I laid on them? I wish I knew. Not a person, but when I was biking in Chicago, a couple of dogs followed me and the people that I was with for about a half mile on a busy road. We were worried that they were going to get hit by a car and that their owner, if they had one, would be worried about them. We called animal control and put them in a fenced off area off the side of the road. There should be an app for this kind of thing. You post the city or town where the lost connection happened, the story, then PPL can reconnect. Make sure to like and subscribe for more daily content. Thanks for watching.